Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Coding with T. Today we are going to create the second video of our section 3 of stateless widgets in the Flutter basic crash course. In today's tutorial we are basically learn how to move from one activity or from one screen to another screen, or how we can switch between two different screens. As you can see on your screen that at the end of this section we are going to create a form. So for the form we are going to create first screen that will collect the data from the form, and the second screen of the details that will show all the details submitted in the form on the next screen. So the first thing is we are going to learn how to move from current screen to the next screen, and then in the upcoming videos we will also create the text fields, radio button, checkboxes, drop downs in this form. At the end we will learn that how we can collect the data using a global key from the form and pass that data to another activity after validating the whole form and all its fields one by one. So let's start with the today's tutorial. Open Android Studio. In here you can see I have a simple application called my name. It's a stateless widget, and we are not going to code all the things in this class. So let me first go to lib and inside create a new file directory. I'm going to name it form.dart and then another class, and I'm going to name it details.dart. So let's first import material.dart in the form, and we will create stateful class because later on when we have all the fields we have to get the fields. User will be interacting with the application. So if you knew about the stateful widgets, please watch the previous videos. Link is in the description and also from the right top corner. So let's name it my form. Instead of that container, let's create this scaffold, and in this scaffold we have an app bar, and app bar named simply a form with a center aligned. And now in the scaffold we have a body. For the current tutorial I'm going to put that button in the center of the screen, so that's why I use this center, but later on we will change it to list view because we might need to scroll as per the design. Let's create an outline button. As a child, let's add text, and we also need on pressed event, and on the press of this button we will basically move from the current form to the details section, right? So I have just make this text to dot uppercase and also add some style, and also let me add style to this outline button. So I have just added a outline button dot style from with the minimum size with the width and specific height. So this is the warning because it's saying that always try to put childs at the end. So now in the on pressed we are basically going to call the details page. So to call the detail page or to move from current activity to the another activity, as in Android we use intent, but in here we have a navigator which is going to navigate from this screen to another screen. So navigator is saying that what we want to do, we want to push or we want to pop. We want a new screen to come on top of it so we can see the top screen, right? So we have to push. The first one is the build context, means from where you want to move. So the context of this current class, you can see we have a context here. This means that we are going to move from this current class to another class. This is the root. So in the root we will use material page root. Let me just sort it like this, at the end semicolon, and instead of this builder, this is basically a function, and inside we also have to pass the context, and in here we have to return the page where we want to move, and it is we have to create a class here as well. Create a stateless class because in here we don't want the user to perform some interaction, and if later on we decide to get some interaction from the user or to make our details clickable, then we can easily shift this stateless to stateful widget as well. So we have a details class. Let's go to form, and here let's add details, add a semicolon, and at the top you can see that this has been imported. Okay, now our function has been ready. Let's go to details, and inside this container as a child let's add center here as well, and in its child let's add a text box saying that we are inside details screen. Now add towards the form. Okay, now in here you have to again see we have a navigator which is going to navigate us basically to a new screen. Push means to add a new screen, and this is the where we want to move. This context is the context of this current class, so we are going to move from this current class and we are going to move to another screen. So to move to a new screen we have this page root of material design. So this page root is again going to get the context. We are going to tell it that we are going to basically move to this details class, right? So now let's run the application. Our application is running, but we forgot to call our form class here. So it's my form. Now let's run it again, and you can see that we have an app bar, and in here you can see we have a function which is saying a submit form, sorry, a button with the submit form name. So let's click on it, and you can see we move towards the detail screen. So it's black because we did not wrap it with the scaffold. Remove this unnecessary container and add constant modifier. Wrap it with the widget scaffold. Scaffold has a body attribute, not a child attribute, so we don't need constant here. Add constant here. You will learn about the constants later, don't worry about it. Let's save it, and you can see that we are in the detail screen. Let's head back again, click on the submit form, and you can see we head towards this detail screen. Now in the scaffold we can again create an app bar with the back arrow. I have added a title, and let's add a leading icon, or rather it's icon button, and it's on pressed we will head back towards the previous activity, and as an icon let's pass with the icons dot back arrow or arrow back. And now in the press of this back button, what we want to perform is, let's save the code and see that we have a app bar with the back button. So currently it's not clickable, it's not working. So we have navigator again dot, this time we have to pop, so we'll use this pop, and again the context to from where we want to pop, and that's it. This pop basically not require another context or the material page root, because pop is just going to pick these details from the stack and remove it, and then we will see automatically the screen behind us, or the screen that is at the top of the stack. So let's save this code. Now click on this back button, and you can see we are inside the form. Submit it and hit the back. So basically this is what we want to learn in this tutorial. I hope you learn something new, and if you learn something new, please like the video. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified about the new videos. If you want to get the link to the playlist, you can get it from the description below or from the right top corner. So thank you for watching. Take care. Allah Hafiz.